Good night. Have one time tonight. God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Armin J. Spirit Divine. I'm here to give you a shout news and a word tonight. We're gonna start with the shutdown. Did you know the shutdown with the deadline on March the 8th? So we found a little temporary solution. Congress had released the text of six appropriate bills. Congress had passed a short-term funding bill to avoid the government shutdown, and that was good. So the Congress had a government shutdown at least for a few more weeks. So the federal government, was set to run out of money tomorrow, and it was, you see, God is always right on time. You know, so but today both of the houses in Senate had passed short-term funding bill to keep things running through. God always right on time. You know, when you're in a job, then all of a sudden, it's come through. Let's go. So March the 8th. And so this temporary bill gonna go through March the 8th to March 22nd. So these bills now head to President Bennett desk. So he got to sign. So that's a relief right there. So we got a missing man. White Castle man missing after a car crash. You know, in Paris. No, so after a car crash, has state police are looking for a missing man that was involved in a car crash. So Gary Bush, you know, he was 64 years old. 64 years old. Now his car at the intersection of Louisiana Highway 398 and Highway 1. So then the investigator believed that he didn't stop at a stop sign. So they think he didn't stop at the stop sign, and went into the Bayou Lafourche, and passenger got out of the car and last saw. The last one they saw. So in the water near the car before it went underwater. So his car went underwater. So when they went in, I guess to try to search him, he was not there. So and I'm also a missing divine person, and I also gonna try tonight to see if I can locate him. So if he wait is it was showing God was showing a little bit to me. But I'm gonna meditate tonight. But I'm trying to see. Like they're trying to get to me and try not. But shortly I will try to locate him tonight. Locate him to see if he's still in the water or he gonna float somewhere else. So that's the news for that. And so I have a word. I'm down but not out. You can be down but not out. Just like me in the storm. I've been down for so many long, but I'm not out. I'm still in the race, still standing. So Jesus had healed Peter's mother-in-law. Now she felt a type of way. Because when Peter went to try to be a disciple, they had to leave their wives behind. So she had to take care of her daughter while Peter took off. That's his way. Peter took off and followed Jesus. So she feel a type of way. But who gonna help her at the end? Jesus. Matthew chapter 8, 14, 17. When Jesus came into Peter's house, he saw Peter's mother-in-law, laying down in the bed with a fever. So she just laying down sick. Just can't weaken, just can't get up or nothing. So when Jesus spot that, remember he spot that lady, all crippled and bent over. He had just walk in and he spot her way over there. Cause see, he got a sense for these things. So when he come in, the first thing he see her laying on the sofa. You know, and so when Jesus had entered Peter's house, the first thing he noticed Peter, mother-in-law, lying in the bed. That's the first thing. Because he come here for the sick, for the broken. And so he touched her hand, and the fever had went away. And she got up, and she began to wait on him. And that's what you do. Because he came along, and all he did was touch her hand. She hopped up and started going in the kitchen cooking and stuff. That was a miracle. He not only took the fever away, but he gave her energy to go in the kitchen and cook. So Peter mother-in-law give us a beautiful example to follow. Her response to Jesus' touch was to wait on him and his disciples immediately. She also wanted to honor him. You know, and when evening came, many who were demon possessed, were brought to him, and he drove out the spirit with a word and healed all sick. So he boy get around fast. Get around fast. She was laying in the bed sick. And had no strength to do nothing. And he came over there, all he had to do was touch her, and the fever went away. And the word got out that the mother-in-law not laying on the bed sick no more. Jesus had touched her hand, and she got well. And the word got out to the neighbors. Everybody came over there and wanted to get saved by Jesus. So the fact that Jesus was able, to cast away demons with a single word, he demonstrated his authority. And we talk about that today. We talk about authority. And I talked about that yesterday too. That Jesus had given disciples authority to trample over snakes and scorpions and your enemy. And so over over the supernatural world. Now, Jesus simply ordered them to leave, and they recognized his authority, and they left. So that's good. They all obey. Jesus said, "I need y'all to leave." And they respect his authority. And so this was a fulfill what was spoken through the prophet Isaiah. He had took up information, and brought our disease. So they brought everything to Jesus. He the word out that he had healed the man. Healed the mother-in-law, and she got up, going in the kitchen, cooking and everything. And so they brought all kind of people from, with all kind of disease and all kind of infirmity. So Matthew showed Jesus kingly natural nature, through our single touch. Jesus healed. But when he spoke a single word, evil, spirit had flee his presence. So Jesus had authority over all evil power, and all the earthly, diseases. And he also has the power and authority to conquer demons. So he was casting out demons. He was healing. He changing water to wine. He was doing all that, and so they respect his authority and they listen. So when Peter mother-in-law Jesus didn't have to say anything but touch touch her fever, and it was gone. So that was amazing. He just touch her hand. Remember the other lady just touched, and she was healed. And so all Jesus had to do was speak in a word, and demons had left her. So Peter mother-in-law, didn't think so highly, So this the part she didn't think so highly of. So highly of Jesus. Everyone was talking about him. But Simon had taken a follow to Jesus, but didn't have time throughout the countryside, leaving her daughter to have to marry everything at home. She had to leave everything home. Because remember, Jesus was finding his disciples, you know, and he said, "You want to follow me? You got to leave everything behind." The wife and all. He had the children and all. He had to leave them behind. But she felt a type of way because she had to take care of her daughter and the children. So now she is first with brain as she lay on her mat. So she laying on her mat and she heard the verse at the door. And Jesus Simon and other Peter had letting Jesus know that his mother-in-law is sick. Then Jesus walked over to her mat and he touched her hand. But it was a more than a touch. Now, first she was feeling a type of way. But now when Jesus touched her hand, she felt something else. So she felt love and definite sweetness. Now she getting all, she feel all this stuff. At first she just fussing about her daughter, and so this came out the Bible with her speaking her story. That's why I like this Bible here, because a lot of in the Bible speak their story, just their story, infuse her entire body. You know, her fever had broke immediately. Her energy had returned. That's what I say. Her energy had to return because she talking about waiting on him, cooking for him. She had full energy. Now remember early on, she didn't care for Jesus, but now, he is here, hear her, and clearly she was something extraordinary about Jesus. So she didn't see, and that's what the thing is. People don't get to know somebody first. She never had met Jesus, never met Jesus close. All she know that her husband had to go with Jesus, and her daughter had to stay behind. So she really never had a chance to meet Jesus. But now she done met Jesus, hear her, and she have a different story to tell. Jesus, something of God, was within him. Perhaps Peter's involvement with him wasn't such bad. Now she said Peter is with him. So it don't seem too bad after all. So because she see the touch she had. She said love, because see Jesus loved everyone. And she felt that love when Jesus had touched her. And she said, I changed my mind. You know, I see I see why Peter loved Jesus. You know. And so she got up off her mat, and she thinking how could she repay him, and then she said, oh, know how could she honor this man. Now she wanna honor him, because she had a different light on him. So now she done met him, and she see what kind of a kind man he is. Love. She felt the love, and she did what she knew best. Now she went to her daughter and helped her cook for their guests. Now she served him, with great joy. Now this the same woman had a different story to tell. So now she got a testimony about Jesus touch her hand. And she got off that mat. He ain't just touch her hand, he give her strength. Give her strength to go in that kitchen and cook, help her daughter cook, and serve the guests. Now that's something how she was just laying on that bed. Couldn't move. And it won't be for Jesus coming through that door and notice her, she'll be still laying on that mat. Great joy. And after the meal, neighbors and town people, saw Karen to their door to see the master. They start coming out around. They start coming around because all they know, she was laying all in the bed. She was fever. She was sick. She had no energy to do nothing. The daughter was in the kitchen cooking. And so she said God was with Jesus. Now she would never forget that touch. She said she will never forget. And Peter, mother-in-law, she was down, but she was not out. Won't be for Jesus. She'll still be laying on that mat. She said, I was down, but I was not out. But the touch from Jesus was here. And so that's something. You know, people, you know, people just take what people say. All these years, she was just so angry with him and never had a chance to meet him until that night when she was laying on that mat. She had got a touch from Jesus, had to change her whole life, change her mind about him and everything. Though that's what people have to do first. You have to meet somebody to get to know somebody. They got some people be hating people for so long, never met them. So this is a story that Peter, mother-in-law, she was out, but she was down, but she was not out. And she was laying on that mat sick and have no energy at all until Jesus came through the door. The first thing he noticed her because Jesus knows the sick. He came for the sick and the broken. And so she had a different story to tell. She had a testimony. How Jesus had saved her, how Jesus had healed her. And so that so when Jesus had to pick his disciple, you know, he had to leave everything behind. That's what she hold a grudge for so long. He had to. He had to leave her behind. He had to leave the dogs, the cats, the children. He had to leave everything behind to follow Jesus. She thought he was a terrible person, but when she met him, she said, "Oh, I see why Peter loved him." She see a different light on him now. And so we also talk about they have a temporary bill funded for the shutdown. So the shutdown be for the 8th and for March the 22nd. It was a temporary till we find another solution. So a missing person, 64 years old, was in a crash. But when the car went underwater, but when it went in the water, they didn't found him. They didn't found him. And so I'm seeing him. I'm seeing him in the water kicking. He's trying to swim. So I'm gonna still be trying to find him tonight. And try to find, cause he's a 64-year man, and he been in that water today. I don't think he can hold his breath that long because I'm seeing him fighting in the water. He's trying to kick. It's like he's stuck, trying to get out the car. So some reason he got out the car. But I'm trying to see where he landed so y'all can locate him. So if I don't see him now, I will meditate on it tonight. So that's all I have for you today. So I'll see y'all in the next video. Have a blessed night.